everybody, this is Ellen and welcome to this week's video. I'm indoors today because it's a bit wet out there actually. I had to put my cards down on the lawn. Today, very excited about today. Huge energies, like unbelievably huge energies. I know I always say that, but this is like right, something else is going on astrologically, and I don't know the half or even the tiniest glimpse of it, what's going on astrologically, but the bit that I have seen is really exciting. So we've got a supermoon, which is part of the end of a triple cycle, which started on August the 30th. So we're going through that triple cycle, which has been really deep. So September's been really deep for a lot of us. And just if we look at the news, we can see, something is going on. So this has been a very deep process we've been in September. So this is kind of like the in a way the end of that process, or the heart of that process, kind of both at the same time. So we come to this new moon, super moon, where you've got very wild energy. Everything is a bit unhinged, basically literally the tides are different, everything's kind of chaotic, and this is in the external world, the world of nature, and in the internal world, and in every kind of world that we've got going on. This is a very intense time, a time of chaos, and we've been like slammed into a lot of awareness very suddenly through September. So I don't know if this resonates with you, but this is how I'm seeing what has been going on. So then now we've got a moon, everything's in Libra, and the sun's in Libra, and Mercury, I think, is in Libra, and the moon today is in 5 degrees of Libra, which is the Sabian symbol, is the man shares his deep inner knowledge, or something like that. So, which is quite interesting, because I think I put a little post about it today, but the Sabian symbols actually came from woman, and a man kind of basically spotted that this woman had great psychic gifts, and so the structure was provided by a man who had a lot of mystical and other types of insight. But the Sabian symbols came from this rather untutored but incredibly powerful medium, who was actually quite freaked out by her own psychic gifts for an awful long time in her life, and was chosen really by him because he wanted someone who was almost like a clean. He knew that she was very gifted medium, but she was a clean slate. She didn't really know anything about astrology, or very little, so therefore he thought he could get these symbols through, and they're still in use today. So this has just fascinated me, all of this coming together. Also, that moon today is very close to a star which is known as the Harlot. And this is, it might seem unrelated, but there is a relationship, because what we're really accessing, I think, is, and we're being forced to access it or choose not to, is the sacred harlot. So I want to talk about harlots today. So, okay. So I've chosen a rune today. I am incredibly, wildly ignorant about runes. But I did make some little runes a little while back. So this one I've chosen, I had no idea what it meant, because I don't know about runes. So I just looked it up, and I might be getting this, wrong or very limited, but the little book I looked it up in, it said this is Ingwas, and this is about union and union between men and women, and like sexual union and fertility and opening. So yeah, that just felt very, very relevant. Something opening up. I mean, to me, it looks like a little window opening or portal opening. So, so harlots. So, really, the word harlot, it derives from a root word which means priestess, and this root word is related to other words that we have, like hierophant and hierarchy. So, and the higher part of the start of the word means sacred. So then that kind of maybe tips us in Greek. So that kind of tips us off that there's a bit more to harlots than meet the eye, and they turn up in the Bible, don't they? And not in a good light. But they're not what we think, they're not what we think, or they weren't what we think. This is a type of sacred seer. It's a type of sacred seer, the priestesses in the temples who had this opening to the mystical realities in a different way. And sometimes this was physically embodied, and now we think, oh, was all kind of loads of prostitution going on. But that's, there's lots of different stuff about that, and most of it I don't know much about, but I just know enough to know that there's a bigger story there. Okay, so it's just that this type of wisdom didn't exclude sexuality. So the types of wisdom that we like nowadays are the types that do exclude sexuality and the body wisdom, and not just it's like, oh, sex, it's all about sex, but it's sexuality in the sense of the body wisdom, the gut, the bowels, the womb, all of the parts of us, all of us, regardless of gender, and again, sometimes, we've started reclaiming this, and then there's a tendency to kind of go, yeah, this is so amazing because it's something women can do, and we can birth this and we can birth that, and blah-de-blah-de. And, that is incredible. It's incredible to open to that, but that awareness is like a doorway to further awarenesses, so it's important to walk into that portal to reclaim our womanhood, if we identify as a woman, and all that entails. But this is a what you could call a biological awakening. It's happening on the planet. Well, that's how I see it, and this is not, in my opinion, meant to disenfranchise anybody, whose biology is different, or who doesn't see things that way, because we all have a biology, and we all have the magic and the mystery and the depths of that, and our own unique thing to play, our own unique instrument, So this is about not excluding biology, the body, and all the parts of the body that we don't really like to talk about and we're all embarrassed about, into the dialogue. Okay, so there we go. That's my take on this stuff. Difficult and complex to talk about, and I can't say that I've got very many of the answers, but I'm interested in the questions. So today, the goddess that came. This oracle deck that I've been working on, the Voices of the Dark Mothers. So this is Morgan Le Fay. So Morgan Le Fay, when she came to me with this deck, it was quite a very sexual, image, of the naked woman, and in amongst the flowers, and the word contracts. So Morgan Le Fay, fairy energy. She's very much like that harlot energy, very powerful, full of magic. But in the stories that we have now, oh, she's dangerous, she's wicked, she's the fallen woman, all this kind of thing. So we also have here another card of Morgan Le Fay. I hope you can see this. I think the sun's a bit funny here, but here we can see another image of her as a triple goddess, and she is beating the rhythms of change. So these fairy energies are calling us, and you know, again, these fairy energies challenge us about our ideas of high and low. This energy of the harlot, it challenges high and low, you know. So we like to think that we're very, very spiritual and very ascended, and we know a lot from books and all of that sort of stuff. But the harlot energy can really bring us into contact with other types of wisdom. For example, fairies. You know, nowadays, if you like fairies and you talk about fairies, there can be quite a lot of snobbery about that, even in pagan circles. Sometimes people kind of want to be a little bit more esoteric with stuff, and fairies just seem a little bit childlike. But you know, nevertheless, fairies are real, fairies are powerful, and this fairy energy is incredibly powerful and resonant for us. So Morgan Le Fay is, you know, she's not Tinkerbell. She's a different type of fairy energy. She probably doesn't exclude Tinkerbell, really, because who doesn't like Tinkerbell? So, okay, so I'm going to pick a card for today. And okay, we've got the Lovers. Wow, fancy that. There you go. I've chosen that rune, knowing absolutely nothing about it, but the card that's come is very similar, isn't it? Union, sacred union. These Sabian symbols came together from a sacred union, not a sexual union, but a energetic union of masculine and feminine. And this is really a huge reclaiming portal, and everything's being put in the cup at the moment. You know, we don't need to exclude this body wisdom, this body awareness, these different voices around the body. We don't need to exclude them anymore. We can start to put everything in the pot and include more things. So I'm just going to read a tiny little bit out of this, what I got from her. I've totally forgotten what I got, so this will be interesting. So yes, it looks like I was getting the same sort of stuff that I'm getting today. So I'm just going to read this out, I think, today. I don't think I'm going to do a journey today. I think I'll just read this out. Morgan Le Fay dances into view, stark naked, dressed only in fairy ribbons. Her body shimmers with sexual energy, pulsing with love energy. She is an omen, a carrier, a messenger from yourself to yourself. She is a liberator, deeply free. What binds you? What binds you? What binds you here? There are bonds of love and bonds of hate, bonds of obedience and bonds of ecstasy. Which do you follow? Do you dance freely, or are your feet bound up with old contracts? When Morgan Le Fay dances, she dances for you. She's whole, complete, totally, shamelessly herself. When the first signs of trouble arose in the land, she took off. Any and all domination is abomination to her blood. She simply cannot stand it. But she did not abandon you, sweet one. She finds a way from within the hollow of her fairy wisdom. In a nest of green moss surrounded by daisies, you will find her if you seek with your innocent heart and your wanton bones. She is cushioned by love, surrounded by the petals of pulsing, innocent freedom, the flowers. You feel them as if for the first time, the potency and magic of their simple sexual energy. The flowers speak tongues of freedom and bliss. They're heaven-sent and earth-born, like your own body. Morgan Le Fay speaks to you. Her voice is like a song, sweet, full, and high. Her voice smells of wildflowers and musk. My darling love, we see you here. Each flower is an eye open to God and the God within you. Your eyes have been shut to your own divinity and most especially the divinity of the body. The burdens of shame and not enoughness are so heavy for you. Lay them down here, they make you the prisoner of monsters and thieves. Let no one take what is your own, your body and the wisdom and bliss it carries like a flower. There is no shame, no theft, no experience, no violation, however brutal, that can take away your beauty and the fullness of the earth body. There is no person, contract, time or place that can bind you to shame. You are the fullness of the earth embodied in stars, making love with life in each and every breath. If you have forgotten your divinity, just call for me and I will return it to you over and over until you remember. Your diversity is a hymn to creation, your life an enchanted mission of memory. There are no mistakes in creation. You are perfect as you wish to be, as you are, as you will be. So be it. I have spoken. Okay, so there we go. Morgan Le Fay, and that was what I was getting, and seemed to be similar to what I was getting today as well. Something is birthing, something is changing, something is emerging, even as we go deeper and deeper into this chaos. In some ways, I don't want to belittle, the things that are going on, because they're, serious and deadly serious. But in another sense, there is the potential there, if we choose to take it, to to really use these energies going on, these incredibly scary and frightening and oppressive and corruptive energies, to like bash out and hammer out something different. So there we go. That's today's video. Fairly intense, because it's a fairly intense day. Use it. Use this intensity. See if anything resonates with you. If everything that I've said is a little rubbish or offensive or whatever, I've got it wrong, even better, because it will activate even more deeply your inner Morgan Le Fay. So let her go off on one today and see what emerges, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye.